All right. Divine heart, peace, abundance, prosperity to all, or oneness, not even peace really. It's really, this is peace. This is oneness. So that's what I really be saying. If you hear me saying peace, I mean to rephrase that and say oneness. It's a lot of words I don't use because if many of you know and have been aware and truly tapping in, not always stuck in the box, like even always on YouTube or watching TV or, even stuck in the radio, listening to music all day, that's still another box. Radio was always designed in a box shape, or the radios you usually see, you know what I'm saying? Even these Bluetooth speakers in some type of rectangle or something, some type of four corners. But no, the four corners actually is four corners. There's many different things about the number four and the four elements, which is within every one of us. The water, the fire, the earth, the air, you know what I'm saying? That's inside all of us. That's why you got them four different signs. You got the air sign, the fire sign, the water sign, earth, all that, right? So that's why you got the four sides too. Northwest, all that east, you know what I'm saying? Then you got the four corners and so on, you know what I'm saying? Because it has a lot to do with the body and all of that. The same thing as the Bible with all the John and Luke, whatever, all that even too. There's different aspects of what fire is, just in a metaphor type of way, allegory, whatever you call it. So all those different four things is pretty much about the different elements that we carry within inside of us, the energy, whatever, or the frequencies that we be on. But you got to be in tune with all four. That's why you got like cartoons like Captain America, and that's why he be like, with our powers combined, earth, water, wind, all that. And you got heart. See, it's kind of still emotion though, and it's a physical, but the heart is also part of the soul. So I would say more like, instead of saying heart, I would say the sun, or the soul, which is the sun. So, that's why you got solar flares and solar return, or not solar return, but what's that one? Solar eclipse or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The solar year, all that. And what the moon does to people also. See, a lot of women not tapping in the moon and why they might have different energy or different swings or different attitudes because, they let somebody describe them or subscribe them to some type of medication, like them thinking that there's something wrong with them, but really it's all about meditation, going within, and the way you breathe too. See, the way you breathe in, when you focus on your breathing, that's the air element right there. That's you tapping into air. And you got to remember to always go in nature so you can ground and take your shoes off for a moment. And not always start your day off with, negativity or wrong thoughts, things like that. So grounding is important. Especially once you understand these four things and you master them, it could be times where I would say you can manipulate it because you don't have to actually do that starting your day off in order to be balanced and in control or thinking, with a wise mind and what's more important and what's more, valuable and, things and whatever. So, that's another part when you start mastering those, and pretty much when you reach the sun or the Christ conscious or, that 5D divine way of living and thinking, that's when you actually have mastered the four elements and know how to keep them under control, no matter if you even tapped into them for the rising that you get up or not. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but until you get there, it's important, even when you get there, but it's still more important to tap in those elements, like do the grounding, then do the jumping into the water, going to the springs or beach, I forgot what you call it. Anything like that. That's why when you go swim or you go places where you actually go and have the chance to swim, you feel so high vibrational, and it brings out that youth inside of you and just have you smiling and just, so joyful for playing in this water finally, because it might have been a while, or even if you do it a lot, but it's always feeling great because you're tapping into the water element when you do that. When you ignore things like that, which is also part of nature, it's not great. That's why when it comes to, the earth sign, or not just the earth sign, but the earth part of you, it's important to ground, and it's important to connect with the water, and it's important to meditate and connect with the wind and breathe, breathe real long time, like not just long inhale and exhale, but when you meditate for an hour. Challenge yourself to do 3, 4, and not laying down or what's the other one? But pretty much, yeah, that's it. Really laying down, because that's like more, that's easy. But sitting up with your head up, your kundalini, you know what I'm saying? Your spinal cord, your 33 vertebrae, whatever. Yeah, it's more important to sit up straight and not slouch either, because that's another lazy energy. That's like, so that energy right there goes a long way. When you sit up straight and you have that posture and you can sit there for at least 2-3 hours, then that's you really truly connecting with the air, whatever. Or even if you just do it all day, not even meditating, but just breathe like that all day, no short breath. You're always paying attention to your breath and taking long, deep breaths and letting go. So, yeah, and then you got the fire, which the fire is more like, I would say, your challenges and the way you deal with them, your attitude, your reactions, your triggers. If you have any type of, anything like that is your fire, but it's what you do with your fire. That's one form of saying the fire element being within you, but it's another one too. That's why, even when it comes down to that, I've done fire meditation, when you like start a fire in the middle and, pretty much burn everything and then sit there and meditate and just watch the flame. Like really meditate on the flame. You don't even got to close your eyes. You can, but more so it's fire meditation. As far as I know, you sit there and you watch it, and then you take a moment to actually write down everything that you're grateful for, but kind of not. Like I would just put simple, I'm grateful. Like, so I wouldn't really know what to write, because I did this with groups and that was my response. But I've seen other people, I don't the light ain't quiet anyway, it's still good. So like, some other people that was in the circle, what they did was they was told to write down everything that they wanted to let go, everything that triggered them, any type of trauma, understand that. And at the time, the mantra was just really simple. Everybody else had, different things, whatever they went through, whatever they were feeling. And the whole point of it was to write it down and then throw it inside the fire and let it go with the flame. Like, no thinking about it, no going back to it, just, letting it go. And really truly feeling that, and that's how it works, that's how things, your reality change and stuff like that. So for me, that's what I like doing when it comes to tapping in with the fire. I would either do a fire meditation, lighting candles is part of tapping in with the fire element. But what I would do is y'all probably haven't seen it before, but when I was in Hawaii, I was studying these people with the sticks, whatever. So when I came back to Florida, I was doing that with the sticks with the 2 fire flames on each end, which was on my Instagram. But my Instagram got over 33,000 pictures and videos. So going back that far, that takes a while. But yeah, so yeah. So you got to tap into the force. So people that's scared of fire, or people that's, scared of the lighter, even to use it, probably smoke, don't even know how to use a lighter. Like, I don't like the flame. Those ones like that is the ones that be hiding in the dark. The ones that be afraid to come out into the fire, like, you know what I'm saying, or let that fire out. Even if it's like, I don't want to really say the angry flipping side, because that's actually a weakness, but just being afraid to show they have that side, or at least talk about it, or, release it, something. If they got to deal with it in a certain type of way, then that means they got a lot of fire built up, because they've been avoiding the fire. They've been trying to hide it. So when they do come out, that should come out like an explosion, like bloom. That's why people explode from them traumas and them triggers. That's why they explode, and that's why they blow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you just yeah, so they got to be willing to step into that flame or that darkness, even though fire does give light. You know what I'm saying? Even in the darkest room, fire gonna light it up. But yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. You can't just be in the house. You can't just be at a job, because the job is draining. So for those that do be getting jobs or doing the job thing, it's important for y'all to ground before you even go to work. Don't get up and get your coffee. Don't get up and get your tea. Nah, get up. You can tap in with the water element through the shower, but it's not the same as going to a natural springs or a beach or, a stream or something like that. But, it's one way of connecting with the water. But what I would say is, like, ones that like to get up and walk their dog before work or get their coffee, nah, get up at least an extra half an hour just for you. The job ain't really for you. It's really something you ain't supposed to be doing to live and survive. Or not even survive, but, be existing on this earth, whatever, and not have to go through painful food and all that and actually grow your own and whatever the case may be. But it's another story. But when you get up, take 30 minutes to go outside and ground with no shoes on. See, too many of y'all, not even saying I got neighborhoods with dogs poop because you can't ground, but too many are just afraid to take their shoes off and their socks off and step on the grass, worried about ants and everything else, when really that's you being afraid of earth. Which means, that's the fire for you. You worrying about bugs, all that, having the fear of being bit, so I was just thinking to myself, how could I make the word fear be broken down to sound like fire? But I can't, so anyway. If there was a word, then you could have said fire, fire, fire. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, real talk though. So, gotta do some grounding. Or if you don't do, well, I would say, yeah, do both. Go and do some grounding and tap into the air by meditating next to a tree or just on the earth and the air at the same time. And this is why you got ones with a zodiac, like mine will be water. So it will make sense though, even though I ground a lot and I touch trees and things like that. That's right. But anyway, the reason why I enjoy getting to a beach or some water or springs as much as I possibly can is because I'm a water sign. But you're not supposed to just tap into, your sign, whatever element. You're supposed to expand and tap into the other ones. That way you be balanced. And you overcome things, that creates fear or fire or things burning down and being destroyed, whatever. What's the other one though? Okay, I said earth and air or fire, I mentioned that, but see, I'm forgetting right now. Earth, air, fire. Water, pretty much. I would say water, yes, for those that don't want to swim or don't know how to swim. Or don't even be concerned with learning how to swim. Or even if you don't know how to swim, there's places you can go to and things you can do to where when you jump in, at least when you stand up, like a pool. But I wouldn't recommend a pool though. I'm talking about like streams or, maybe even a lake, a beach, stuff like that, a river, where you know how deep it is. And that should be something right there that you jump in. Even if you don't completely jump in it, like if you're clean enough to jump in deep, it don't matter. Just enough for you to get in and, jump in, maybe do a cannonball. A little light one, not nothing too heavy. They say the water light. So those that don't know how to swim, that'd be the first way you start. You get comfortable with water. Don't be afraid to go in, tomorrow I don't know how to swim. And then just start practicing in that. Any of that. Got to overcome anything in case you had an experience where, you was afraid of it. And this is coming from someone that was pushed in the water when I was in Maine? No. I think it was either Pennsylvania or New Hampshire. One of the three. Could have been Maine, but when I was first learning about my godmother, I would say, and the funny thing is, she didn't actually get no papers, none of that they do to, I guess, make someone a godmother. So I always called her a godmother because at the time, I felt like it was God that sent me this mother figure that showed me about hiking in mountains and being in nature, which had took me to doing, these different leaps, trips. I like to call them trips, but I don't want a trip. So I would take these major leaps across the world, across the country, to every different state, and even out of the country, because Hawaii to me is still out the country, and Puerto Rico is out the country. Canada, of course, but it's still somewhat connected to the country. Like, not somewhat, it is like connected by land. But Hawaii and Puerto Rico, you have to fly to them in order to get there. You can get everywhere here by a car except Hawaii and Puerto Rico. But Puerto Rico is not part of America no more, so I can't even say that. But still, at the time, when it was for a little short time where they was, fighting to get the, get it back as, I don't even want to say Puerto Rico. The real name is Boricua is what what it would be called as far as people. But Boricans. Yeah, Boricans, but Boricua. Would that be the term? I don't know, I forgot. Even though my father subscribed to being Puerto Rican, I don't. I subscribe to being honestly, the all. So people like, what race is you? I could be funny sometimes, but even though I don't do it no more, it's too much energy. But I would be funny and be like, well, I don't use the term black no more either, but back then, at the time when I was, responding like that, I'd be like, oh, I'm black, Jamaican, mixed with Honduran, a little bit of Dominican, got Puerto Rican in me, some Cubans, some Africans, some, like, for real. But now it's much easier just saying I'm the all, because there is no separation. That's the illusion. You know what I'm saying? Nature, like, really go out in nature. Not letting the fear hit you and have you scared by watching these TV movies y'all be watching, and these different things y'all watch to make you even afraid of the woods more, or eventually or subconsciously that have you second guessing, thinking about stuff like that, whether you know it or not. Some experience it, some don't, but yeah. I'm about to hop on this bike and get out of here though, but a lot of these things are so real. I gotta master all the elements. I would say I was honestly losing a piece of myself due to not staying in alignment with my emotions being balanced, whatever the case may be, because that right there, that right there is something important. And I don't like myself to get in my ego, and I don't like when oneself, feed too much in the emotions, and yeah, be acting certain ways I don't mean to act at all. And I know I can hold myself accountable for the way I act, because I'm too aware now. Like, for example, with I don't think I've been live on this before, because I just noticed I have no viewers, and I'm like, wait, a lot of people usually come in and be like, hey, hi, this and that, but I haven't ever went live with this account, and that's what it is. But yeah, I do want to say, there's a goddess that, I don't know, really give me like this twin flame energy, and I wasn't really the type to really subscribe to it, but I was starting to study it years back. And when I start witnessing things that's so, like, it's not even funny how it is, that I feel like I can't even doubt that it is that. There could be a lot of challenges that ones go through, or that they subscribe to, and it actually mess with their mental in different ways, and can't really, not even push, because I ain't even get the chance to even push this type of things. So I can't even say push, but you can't even pass the knowledge and true wisdom without, one's thinking it's about control or forcing them to follow something that you follow. But it's not about following anything. It's about at least opening up, listening, and seeing if it truly could make sense by studying and searching on it. There's so many different ways where you can actually get answers now. Like AI for itself is going to tell you these things that some people don't expect it to say, like as far as the truth about who was the first in America or certain things like that, or who was these people, what color, like whatever the case may be. The AI is going to tell it because it's like a spirit of truth. Might have a few in there, I don't know, maybe can't really say, but from what I study and what I know, and when I say study, does not mean no type of books, none of that. Now, this means either meditation going within, or even being those in alignment that can add on, and you can add on to certain things where it makes one big piece of a puzzle, or one complete puzzle, because everybody has a piece to it. As long as you have a peace of mind, and you keep peace in mind to where it becomes oneness, then you can actually start the oneness. Our solar plexus is actually what the sun is. And that's the soul. But however it goes, but everybody has a goal. But it's about if you can actually go through this challenge and not ever fold. And speaking of folding, let's get to the topic of me actually preparing to do a death-guided meditation. And I created something with AI where I put a post up and I made sure nobody could comment in certain things, but I didn't expect a lot of people to start hitting me up in my inbox and saying the stuff that they were saying as far as like wanting me here, and I guess messages are stuff they receive. Because I even had one I really don't even know and met one time, and the stuff he said was like he knew me or something, or like he knew what was part of me being here. And he was like, yo, it ain't your time to go yet, we need you here. And I'm like, what? Like, and we ain't even born or nothing physically or nothing yet. It was only at the meditation thing, but it was like I felt that. And then I still intended to actually like do the death meditation thing. And it is real, because there is a monk that did it amongst his students, or amongst his reflections, that was, he was reminding of who they was, pretty much, should I say, during students. But even just because you learning does not mean you actually know student, or nobody's your teacher. They're actually reminding you of your true divine self, which is how you reach your divinity, and stop thinking that everyone is the enemy. But I'm going to keep on going. This is not to be the end of me, because there's more to say. So let's get back to what I was saying just a few minutes today, or tonight, to sound more correct and right. Even though I ain't got to sound right, I can sound how I choose, because I ain't got nothing to prove. But let's get back to I was still preparing to do. Oh, it's a black kitten walking past me. Preparing to do the death-guided meditation. Like I say, you can look up the monk that did it, and there's other ways, and I actually did do it. So, I'll get to that part. Well, maybe I should say it real quick. So I did it at my daughter's house at the time, meditated for a few hours, and next you know, I wasn't in my body. When I came back, when I got up after, from like, oh, I'm back, thinking I can get up, I got up and fell, hit my knees on the ground. Only the upper half of my body completely back. The legs was like a newborn starting all over again. I got up and walked a little bit more, made it outside the door, because it was like so necessary for some air, which I wasn't probably breathing, because I'm in meditation, which I was breathing, but it got to the point where I wasn't there no more. So yeah, it was different. And when I went outside to get some air, I fell and hit the ground. And it took a while. I had to sit down for a minute for my whole body to come back. Like, I don't know, it didn't feel right. But it's you know tips to that too, where covering the feet while meditating and laying on your back, or not covering the feet. Those actually mean things too. Which I can go deep into that if y'all want to. I'm not going deep in that part. But when I was preparing to do it that night, I'm riding my bike, and all of a sudden the phone falls off of the holder. Now they didn't do that before, but all of a sudden the falls off, and I had the headphones in my ear, and I was listening to a few of those different videos, you know, to pick which one I felt was like most intentional, which one I should just, you know, stay with. And the phone popped out, dragged all the way down the street with the headphones, I guess, attached to my body, or maybe they was in my ear and that long that it was on the ground and dragging as I'm riding the bike. So I'm pulling it and scratching it. Where it probably it wouldn't have broke completely like that if I had stopped sooner. But it was a car behind me, or should I say like a SUV. And when the SUV was speeding, whatever, there was nothing I could do. I'm like, oh. So now I'm wanting to stop, but I don't want to get hit by this SUV. So I stopped in between two cars, because the street that I was on, it was two cars, two lanes, whatever. And they both was kind of coming fast. So I just made sure, I was like, not made sure that the car ain't really hit the phone, but in a way, I stayed in the path where the phone was at, exactly behind me. So that way they would, maybe go around a little bit. And that's what they did. They wound up not hitting the phone. And when I went and picked it up, the phone was done for. Matter of fact, hold on. So when I picked it up, the phone was done for. And it's funny, he sent that message, and then I had that happen. And that was like, okay, that's a sign right there. Like what he's saying is either a fact I'm gonna show you how this phone is. It's not it's in this bag somewhere. Okay, here we go. You can see that's a real one. I ain't no fake app crack. See how it changed and all that? And if it was not real, they would have closed the button right here. Just by hitting these little buttons that's supposed to be down here. So yeah. So when that happened, I was like, oh, okay. That wasn't about my abundance being, a little off, like me pulling in abundance and things like that, because that's why it's not great to be thinking negative or assuming things, and it throws up the abundance between you and that other partner, because when you work as a whole and you work as one, you move as one. So if you already know your partner and know they, have nothing but great energy, divine intentions, great intentions and everything else, and not playing around, and everything is real to them, then there's no time to ever think that they switching up or changing, especially because you got the wrong impression. Like right now, I'm self-reflecting, but I'm also using it as an expression, because after a while, a person learns a lesson, but everybody like to blame it on depression and certain things like that. And not to say she is, but I'm just rhyming. But anyway, let's go back, and get back to the fact. that assuming somebody was acting a certain way by acting like, just for example, Phil, actually you can use this for an example for other ones to actually maybe catch on and not catch on but come across this video and they're not thinking about it and realizing it's about what you say, not only how you say, like people say. Now it's about what you say, because everything you say has power to it. So that's crap. Everything you say has power to it, whether you're saying it soft, hard, loud, whatever, even in silence. Shit, body language alone can send a certain vibration or whatever, no matter. So think about that. Think about it. Body language can make you feel some way. So why the heck does it matter if you're talking softly or loud? And I'm just saying this shit real proud, because it makes a lot of sense. When somebody getting all upset and intense, then it's time to prevent. Because it really ain't what you meant or what you mean to be acting mean and anything in between. You know what I mean? But anyway, when you say something like, what's going on, they don't feel right, the energy feels off. And then, and that's how I'm self-reflecting though. So this is all, part of me using my moment I had as an example. This ain't about blaming nobody. This ain't about shaming nobody. I got to get that right too and start understanding. This is for others to actually learn from others' story. What you think they do with TV? They have you learning from others' stories. Shit, not his story, others' stories. Because when people watch certain movies and they was watching shit like a lot of things that they was creating about us back in the days, they thought everybody in America or certain areas was all gangsters. This is why people are scared of Compton now. And certain things like that. I've been to Compton, Watts, Long Beach. See, now one's be afraid to go to these places. I was there dolo too, no wife, I said no wife. Yeah, no wife, no knife, no gun, just fun. Right in the sun. Don't even know nobody. And I knew people in Cali, but nobody lived where I was at. This is because I want to, I could say, yes, step into the fire, break those fears. You know what I'm saying? Shine a light, get out the dark. And what they created on TV, because they had this feeling like me, where I was saying, and many others back then, like, oh, Cali crazy, because a lot of the movies like NWA, Boys in the Hood, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Now, not to say they don't be wilding though, but this is how they call separation and division, and control your vision. So, yeah. So when somebody is assuming, you know, at the same time, it's like, by you saying my energy will be funny, and then feel somewhere if I say, oh, if you thought my energy was being funny because I wasn't talking, if that's it, because you said I wasn't saying much, I was resting. I don't say sleeping, I say resting, just so y'all know. I was resting. And not resting like laying back, relaxing, resting. No, like actually resting, which I call sleeping. Like out, knocked out. And that's what I said. And she said, no, before that, I think she said, oh, I assume you was there. And I want to talk or something. I said, oh, we doing assumptions. And I don't know if she felt it, didn't like it, or heard it, but at the end of it all, I'm not about holding back your triggers either, because if you've been waiting to pull so bad, then, and not literally pull your triggers, but, I'm here to pull your triggers, especially with me being water and being a Scorpio. So I'm here to pull your triggers. But Yeah, so I was gonna say also, yeah, I'm here to pull your triggers, but at the same time, it's like you got to be accountable, especially when you assuming, and assumptions or assuming is really ass out of you and me. Or pretty much, I don't like to say you and me, but that's what assuming is, ass and you and me, it's like, but assume, I would say, shit, there's another way of saying that, an ass out of yourself. And it's not making fun of nobody. This is anybody that's like, assuming, like, don't assume. You know what I'm saying? That really is called disruption. It's like, damn, it's like a insult to someone if they are that one that actually are there in different ways, different aspects when it comes to, spiritual, uplifting words, motivation, creativity, harmony, just balance, fun, oneness. I don't want to say peace, but oneness, able to vibe with you, everybody, and just, you, your relatives, be open to opportunities like that. And this is the experience that I had. And I'm grateful for it all. But I'm only speaking also self-reflecting because it doesn't make sense that something so amazing will end over a misunderstanding over an assumption. That's like, damn, where do we stand and how much value did this actually have to you? That it could be let go that easy. That don't make sense. I didn't endure the whole lot. And F that victim crap. But the whole point is, no matter what, still was there, still standing there, still forgiving. Because at the end of it all, a lot would see forgiveness as weakness, but that's real power because it's a way of being grateful too, of your, having gratitude in many different ways. And not walking around with animosity or, with HATE. So it's gratitude brings a lot of abundance. And the reason why the abundance will pick up a lot, even being around this goddess, is because me being so grateful for the connection we was building. Wasn't about no sexual contact, none of that. Like when we started off, there was none of that. For at least, I don't know, probably a month, two, maybe. No, actually, okay, it was sexual contact, but there was no, like, far as, the vagina, whatever, there was no intercourse. That part, maybe oral here and there, but there was no intercourse for at least, I'd say, maybe 7 months. 6 or 7 months, which to me is a beautiful thing because that's really attractive. When they willing to wait and they have control, even though they may want it, and you have control, that's a real connection right there. Especially when I myself know me for a fact, is that the whole time it wasn't intercourse with nobody else. And that's the beauty about it. But see, that's because that was easy for me before even reaching that level after, 7 months. Then, but it was 3 years without any. So I would say it was more than 3 years because it was 3 years when I met her and when we greeted. We was both going in our 7th year, really. But we've been down to 6 years together each. So that's really 3 years. I would say probably maybe 3 years and 3 months, or it might have been exactly 6 months. Which I said it was 6 months or 7, whatever, right? But I'm saying I could have been it might have been not exactly 6 years total. It might have been in between, like just, I don't know, something like that. Or maybe before the ending of the six years, should I say. Yeah, because we met in October. So I was about to say like October, for example, but no, we met in October. So it might have been five years, I would say, what, 9 months? Or it could have been 6 years, maybe a little more. I don't know. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic, you know. But that's part of the topic, though, because just saying, that's a great thing, though. We both had morals, and not even morals, just we both had class and respect and patience and dignity. It wasn't just about her screaming, come and put the dick in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was a great thing. That's a great thing about it for me. Like, that's attractive. You know what I'm saying? See, it's like Scorpio women would smash quick. And we would too, just to see, you know, what it really means and what it's really about. So, like, if we was to have, you know, that type of connection with someone sexually, and they decide to truly cuddle and now it's some face, like, really, really embrace you, it's a different, you know, feeling we get from just regular old sex, whatever. It's like more to it. It's like, okay, she feel warm in my arms, or she feel, you know, comfortable or safe, whatever, or she, you know, whatever. But that's the moral of the story, really. Is the part where I said assuming, and then pretty much ending the call feeling some type of way about me saying that, when really it was the truth, because it shouldn't have been no assuming, and that's an insult to my character when I am actually the great one I said I am, and I do the things I say I do, and I stand there with you, forgive you, ride with you, build with you, create with you, visualize beautiful, amazing things, companies and business, whatever, like all these different things. And even creating seeds with you, even seeing all of that happen, getting married with a real ceremony in a, you know, more nature, real type of way. It's an insult. And then all the little things I do besides all of that, just the things we match and vibrate in. I don't know if she'll see this. I might send it to her. I don't know. She might send it to her friends or whatever she want to call them. Like, you might send it to them, but I don't really care because there ain't no embarrassment to me. This is me being me, and that's all. You know, I'm not concerned with none of that, and I'm not even going to manifest and think that either. But I'm just giving you all of you like to give, whatever. Because I don't do this for views, and I don't do this for fun. And they got 0 viewers, so you might be the only one. But this was for everybody to get the message about elements and things like that, and things I wanted to get off and actually, you know, express and let the world know, those that don't know, about these different elements and things like that within, and meditation and, you know, fire, water, all that stuff. But it's how it is, though. Give them some knowledge, give them some wisdom, and this is the wisdom right here. You know what I'm saying? This is not for nobody to feel no type of way. Otherwise, use it as an awareness that there's still triggers, and work on that and realize all I do is give a damn not about the one that may be watching this, but others that react the same way. And it has to be let go. A lot of things that you're eating, like a lot of these foods literally is made with plastics and different type of chemicals. It's like drinking bleach or, you know, pine soil, whatever, for like the floor. Anything like that, the children, some stupidness that affects the brain and the way of thinking and operating in the right way. So it's like drinking certain things that ain't good for your body and has artificial chemicals and artificial flavor and all that type of stuff, which is chemicals they be making. That right there can disturb the water part inside of you. So therefore you get stagnant, which means you get real stiff and uptight and feel, you know, like, because your water ain't really flowing the way it's supposed to, because you really ain't filling yourself with water. You filling yourself with this artificial water that's made with plastic, and, you know, stuff that's inside of plastic is bad enough. And then also, because they got fake water, you can look it up. Stop playing this, go look it up. Stop listening to just me and go search for yourself on YouTube and watch one's real people, not news, none of that. Watch a whole bunch of real people actually testing themselves, because they've been coming aware and they've been actually studying themselves to see. So it's just working as a whole. So you can go and see them actually, you know, testing the water and showing it has this much plastic, this has plastic at all. Then you're saying rice that's made out of plastic won't even, you know, burn or certain type of stuff it won't do. It's like show you a whole lot of different things. So From the rice, depending on what the brands are, where market is coming from. You got the rice, you got the vegetables made out of plastic. You can look that up, and there's videos of them actually making fake lettuce inside the machine, inside the water, whatever they're doing it with, like, you know, some type of like glue, or not glue, but like a type of wax, whatever. You can look all that different stuff up for yourself, and anybody else look it up. Don't just listen to nobody. What he talking about? Nah, go look it up. That way, oh, that's what he talking about. Oh, glad I went to go search that. I'm inspired. I guess you could say inspiring you, but I'm motivating you right now to go and do it yourself. So that way, you ain't just got to stop at, oh, what the heck is he talking about? Nah, go and look it up and look for real people and just Google it. Like, or just go to YouTube and look up people who actually, you know, find out this letters is fake, or fake letters at home, or, you know, anything like that. Certain strawberries and what it does to you, all these different things. Like, it's not even funny, like, depending on where you're getting it from. So the water has certain type of stuff in it that messes with your pineal gland, which is also part of your subconscious, and, you know, your right and left, whatever, period. But that'll be imbalanced by you drinking this water, and it's decalcifying your whole pineal and have you not function the way you think you should be. I say rather be functioning, not should, but rather be, because your true divine self is higher than that. So when you operate in a certain way and you act like things don't, you know, it's nothing, or you just say F everything, or nothing matters much, or, you know, you out here, not to say her, but in general, out here, you know, destroying things, whatever like that, like, just not thinking right. A lot of times, it got to do with what's going on with your pineal, you know, your higher self. Up there with your godly self, you know what I'm saying? Your Christ conscious, being aware, like really having that third eye open. That's why the pineal looks like an eye. That's your third eye. You really becoming aware and tapping in and knowing who you truly are and how you really rather be operating. Not sure, but rather be operating, because you are divine by design. As long as you tap in your divine mind, then shit, it all come together in time. So this is pretty much, you know, things I like to talk about, and things I go live on, and things I was doing, like, on Instagram and whatever else, until I got to a point where it was like, all right, I'm making some space for myself. But that's what it's about the forgiveness and things like that, and actually being honest, you know what I'm saying, and realizing what you have in front of you and the true value of something. Not allowing these different entities to enter your T, which is your brain. The T represents your brain. That's where they got the whole image of the cross from, because it's in your brain. It's in the back. If you can find that too, you will see it. It looks like a man on a stick, the way it's designed. It's actually, matter of fact, it's the part that actually holds the brains kind of together, like a little, or not together, but kind of like a like how you can have two computers and you would have a USB, connect the 4 wires, or a TV, how you connect the 4 color wires with you know, 2 wires on one end, the yellow and red, and then you connect the other side of the yellow and red to like a speaker or something else like that. That's kind of how the brain is. So those two things back there is part of, you know, where I would say they get the cross, you know, symbol from. But you got to really tap into your higher conscious, and that's the sun part of you. That's the mastering all the elements, getting, you know, taking care of each part of you, the earth, grounding, drinking proper water, you know what I'm saying, real clean, and alkaline water if possible. And if you don't know what alkaline water is, look that up. And if you can't get actual alkaline water, then get you an organic lime. If you can, one from the nature, and squeeze that in your water, and that'll make your water alkaline. Like just putting that in your water and letting it sit and drinking that. And that create alkaline right there, at least more than just being some plain old water. If you got it in a plastic bottle, at least give it some type of electricity more than just that still dead water, because that water y'all be drinking ain't no good. And I give a damn about everybody. I give a darn about every single person on this earth. When it comes to that health and being tricked by all this different stuff to control you, TV, make you have, you know, the news and all that, make you think about things going on, and, you know, like you being in danger and the world being full of chaos and all that, and having your mind being stuck in fear. So when you get out in nature more and get out that TV, then you connect more, you know, a lot greater, whatever. You feel a lot greater. Go swimming, connect with some water, do some meditation, work on your breathing. That's very important. That's vital right there. And then light some candles. Yeah, it's one of the easiest ways, shit. But see, you can actually do all four. Because you can go out in nature. If you have a lake near you, a stream, but lakes kind of, you know, still water too. Ain't much energy as a stream that flows, and, you know, because water's supposed to be flowing. Or a beach, whatever, which is water crashing. Still flowing, but more so crashing. And then you also got with the springs where the water flows too. So you gotta have some type of movement. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same with you. You gotta have some type of movement. So you can actually, like I was saying, meditate on the grass in front of a lake with 2 candles lit next to you, or 3. So now that's you tapping into all 4 elements. Because you're next to water, you're grounding at the same time, focus on your breathing with fire surrounding you. There's no better way of grounding you. And if you got a sound bowl, hit a sound or 2. I feel like that's what I'm bound to do. But yeah, for real though, because I know from all the growth and things I've learned, I'm here to take great care of a goddess, raise her awareness. I don't want to push too hard because I don't want it to come off a certain way. But every now and then, here and there, I have to say certain things. I have to tell these things, whether they feel like it makes sense or stupid or not. It has to be said because there's more to life than what they think in just one way. And one thing about me, being loyal, dedicated, and that's with the whole poly thing, I decided to cut that off in order to enjoy a monogamous relationship or connection, should I say, not a ship, not a sinking ship, but a connection that would just be, I was going to say beautiful, incredible, but before I want to say that, I want to say, to me, amounts to me having 9 wives. Someone I felt that was that incredible, whether the other person see it or not, doesn't matter. It's what you see in them, you know, and, you know, you can't force them to see what you see in them. That's why it takes a lot of patience and things like that. But it has to be patient on both sides, and one's willing to forgive and, you know, work and keep moving forward, especially when it ain't that deep. So, you know, that's important, that's vital. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Hold on. And yeah, pretty much to, you know, be patient, because I know these goddesses has been fed a lot of toxic things, and especially in different generations, like this one, I ain't gonna say this one, but yeah, this one, because we all in the same generation. I don't know why people even get caught up with that separation in different age and, oh, different generation. No, if your ass still here, you part of this generation. That's why ones that's in their so-called 50s, 60s, and so-called 70s can actually influence the ones that came up after them, and they still here. And you can point the finger like, oh, it's you, it's your generation that did it to mine, like, you know, but we all really one generation. As long as your ass is here, you part of this generation. You can't, people be saying shit like, damn, in my time, I ain't had PlayStation. You know, it'd have been great then. I'd have been playing PlayStation 2, as if this shit don't exist now here with you. Anybody could play that. So it doesn't even make sense to say, you know, in my time, I ain't had that. You got it now. It's still your time. Think about it. Your time ain't over yet. And ain't no real time, but your existence, you know what I'm saying, doesn't end, period. You infinite, but your so-called time hasn't ended yet. So how the heck in your time, in my time, we ain't had PlayStation? It is your time. You can get a PlayStation 2. And not a PlayStation 2, more like a PlayStation 5. Whatever one is out now, shit, as long as I've been alive. It's been all types of ones. You probably have PlayStation 8. I don't know. Knowing me, I don't play games. I'm probably far too late. But I don't care. Because I know why I'm here. It's more to sort of tap into that fire, that water, that earth, and that air to reach my Christ consciousness, which is, my higher self and the sun, everything in one. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. You can do all those four elements, right? And sun is part of the fire too, somewhat, but yeah, of course. But at the same time, a lot of these elements is right here on earth. So you get fire on earth, and actual fire, when things is burning around you and it could burn you, that's all the way up there. It could burn you too, but not really if you're eating a certain way or drinking a certain way, which is why it's no reason why they want you eating certain things so the sun can destroy you or do certain things that make you sick or just make, different things happen, even attitudes and things like that. That's why certain cities get extra mad, like New York when it's warm outside. But that should be kicking in from what you're eating, the spirits you carrying from what you're eating, and the sun just doing too much because what you're eating is what the sun doesn't like. The sun don't like you eating animals, the soul, the soul part of you. That's what the sun is, the soul. The soul part of you don't like you eating these animals, and doing things like that just to fill your needs, whatever, where you can actually survive with just the sun itself and breath. But that's another thing too, I'm about to say, but you can survive with just fruits, whatever. But now that's another thing. Being that is ones that are breatharians that can survive from just air and the sun, they say, from breathing in the sun. Now it makes sense that, they tap into all four elements because they are down on earth. And most likely they grounding. And most of us that do things like that is on that path, that do breathe and just connect with the sun will be somebody that's into meditation, grounding, and things like that. So you grounding, and most likely you're probably around water. So now you're connecting all four elements, and that's why you'll reach that level to where you won't even want to eat animals no more, probably. Like you just, you're free with being out in nature, no shoes, you ain't got to have none of that. You can be free, and just live off the grid and things like that, because that's how most of it get when we be tapping in nature and just feeling comfortable. This is true home. The ones that's in the house is really, I would say I am houseless, for example, and say the ones that live in a house is homeless. That's how I would say it. Or I would say I'm homeless if I'm living in a house because I am left away from home. And I've been saying this before I heard anybody else use that. I heard one person use that. I was like, wait, that's funny. That's how, but see, that's how we be connected and we be tapped in at a certain level, because when you get there, you ain't got to know a certain person or a certain being to actually receive this upload through meditation of things within yourself, because it might come after meditation. And that's how you know you're in alignment, because you could be never know each other, don't know each other, fall apart, two different type of backgrounds, whatever people, and yeah, be like, oh shit, that's the shit I be saying. But yeah, so, okay, what I was getting at before I went there. I done forgot, see? Then went somewhere else with it. Oh, that's a mosquito. Went somewhere else with it. I was talking about, somebody was saying what you saying, like, damn, I had thought of that, but damn. Okay, I'm trying to go back. Trying to go back in time. I'm trying to go back in time. Or should I say, back in space? Rewind a little bit. Maybe that'll remind a little bit. Nah, maybe it's meant to be forgotten. I'm saying that. Oh. I'm yawning anyway. I don't even know where we at right now in space. Or what we say, what time is it? Oh, it's only 12? Hold on. Oh, it's only 12:52. Okay. About another hour to do. Well, nah, I ain't got to go that far. But anyway, as I was talking about the star, which is the sun, and how, see, I went right back to it, just from rhyming, perfect timing. But that's alignment. But anyway, I'm getting back to what you do in order to climb with that type of level of conscious that gets you all the way up there to your higher self, or connected with yourself, which is your soul and the sun, so be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, and that's your Christ conscious, that's your higher self right there. So that's your divine self. So that's why I have patience and understanding of those that operate certain ways and act certain ways. Sometimes I might get a little sidetracked, but I got to remind myself again to understand different beings and where they at in their journey. Well, I'm so grateful that noise stopped. Where they at in their journey, and you know, can't force people to reach a certain level, but you got to be willing to open up and actually receive. Because if you ain't willing to open and receive, then that's either part of the ego, or that's part of like attitude, which is part of your your darkness, whatever you guys you ready to fight that, walk in that fire, or jump in that water, whatever the case may be. Gotta yeah, be willing to receive, especially when you actually do respect someone and you respect them. You willing to listen and see where their mind is at and where their thoughts is at, so that way you have a better understanding of where they at, who they are, how they operate. Not cut each other off, not say things don't sound right, don't say we don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. Nah, just being there truly, open arms, and open ears, and listening and using your eye for discernment, and really taking a moment to see if it makes any sense in your best way possible, but not just quickly shutting it down, and attacking it as if it's an attack on you. When really it's just a eye opener that there's a trigger, and you have to dig and figure out where it came from. And that's funny because, like somebody finding treasure, or somebody, I don't know, just finding something they got from somebody else that dig for something, and they got to figure out where was it dig from. Because they have to put it back. Because if they don't put that energy back, then it'll mess around and follow them, or just be released for somebody else to find. Like the Hellraiser thing, for example. The Hellraiser movie, when they had to bury that box somewhere, and they buried it under the thing. And they had to make sure that, in case somebody did find it, and then in order for somebody to trap it again, or probably put it where it was, you have to put it back where they had found it at. And yeah, things like that. So you know what I'm trying to say, whatever. So you got to dig deep and put that back where you found it at. Think about it. It came from a past too, something that had you thinking about somebody, or thinking about some type of situation, or a connection will go a certain type of way because your past was like that way, or something similar. So now it's back there when it happened. It's supposed to be let go. You're supposed to stay in the present and not let it get to you, not let it make you act a certain way. So therefore, leaving it back there in the past, with the past is the past, then it doesn't affect you. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, when it does pop up, or it does still affect you, or have an effect on you, that's when you start actually digging into it and figuring out why this triggered you. But you go back by remembering the past and where it came from. So when you realize where it came from and why you're getting this trigger, you go back in that moment and you leave it back there, and you breathe on it and you relax on it. You know what I'm saying? You meditate and you breathe on it, and you do things like that, and you ground, and you touch a tree and something like that, or you do light some candles and you let that go in the fire. So therefore, when you let these things go, you can actually be your true divine self, because no one means to be negative and toxic and all that. They don't mean to be, aggressive or defensive, or, separating, which is delusion, like many different things. To be angry, or be upset, or even triggered. Like any of those keywords that different people be, it's not really their true self. That's not your divine self. That's not you spreading divine energy, being the divine being that you actually are designed to be. That's not you using your divine mind, your divine heart. It's always a fine start. But, and that also defines art. When you master those 4 elements, there's nothing you don't paint on paper that doesn't use one of the elements in order to create that picture. Whether it's the physical, you know what I'm saying, the whatever, the spiritual, like those are the 4 elements too. You know what I'm saying, the physical, spiritual, I forgot the other one, spiritual, whatever, the other 2, but yeah, it's always 4 like main ones, So we gotta relearn who we truly are. All this was erased during like births, and what they do to you when they take a sonogram, and what that does to the seed inside, and you don't even realize. You're trying to be, having fun and want to hear it, beat and all that, and allowing them to do those things, and you're gonna invite yourself to do it. I want to hear the baby, and I want to what's that one? I want to see what it looks like, I want to know what it is. Stop wanting to know what it is. Have gratitude. Stay in the present moment. Don't worry about the future. Stop worrying about what it is. Be grateful for what it may be, and be grateful that it's healthy and things like that and all that, and manifest that you'll be wealthy when it comes out healthy. Shit, I ain't got nothing to tell me. Shit, wants to be trying to sell me. different things and different dreams. Like I don't know, it's a scheme or anything in between. And I'm not one of those that ever drink lean and I don't smoke marijuana. But here and there, I may roll up one, have a little bit of fun. Because a lot of those blaze when they're in misery. But you need to listen, see? When you roll up one, make sure it's because you're feeling so joyful and how excited you are to be in the present. Like some Bob Marley. But anyway, let's get back to how these stars be. So, when it comes to the sun and the moon and things like that, you gotta realize what these things are. And the moon plays on your emotions. That's why water moves. When the moon be coming out and it be getting dark, the tide rises. That's to tapping into your water, things like that. Your motion, your emotions and shit like that. That part of your emotions, things like that. But you gotta calm the motion. You gotta tap into it and realize when these things, hey, this is not me. Wait, because I don't act this way about this. This means a lot to me. If it once did, then it always shall. Because when it comes to devotion, that doesn't change. There's no way I would want to hold on to someone and have patience and forgiveness and ever give up on having patience and forgiveness. I won't do that because I understand that that's what's required with certain goddesses out here, because with TV, music, radio, food, and even what's in the air may be doing to one's and their mind and their way of properly thinking and operating in a certain type of form and fashion. And they don't have to be submissive, but on both sides, we both should be submissive in a way. We both should be willing to listen to each other. She ain't got to shut up unless she really like out of control and saying something that don't make sense. She got to be accountable and be aware. Forget accountable, but pay attention to herself. Use that mirror effect and see how she acting. Like, wait a second, wait. I know greater than this, you know what I'm saying? This is not divine, and all I want to do is be divine. And, there's other ways of resolving things, and addressing things, or approaching each other. And no one went to apologize for things or whatever. It's okay to be wrong and right, but ain't nobody really wrong or right at the same time. But it's okay to be like, you know what? All right, that wasn't necessary. Wait. And once you understand these things and these different ways of the human mind and things like that, then that's when you truly understand that it's not necessary to blame nobody or shame nobody. And this is not a game, nobody. So I'm telling y'all now, it's important for you to ground, swim, breathe, and meditate, and light your candles or whatever you may do to connect to the fire. I'm not making this up for any type of desire. I'm not any type of YouTube liar. I'm just saying. And notice you want to connect your two wires, which is your brain, your right and left, so that way you know how to make your proper steps. What you put out is what you get. So it's pretty much been a great video. It's been whack. It's been back. I said whack. You can feel that way if you want to. Maybe that's one of y'all probably gonna watch me like, oh, well, you feel whatever way you want. You don't want to do research and study these things so that way you can truly be really intelligent and aware of what's going on with this planet and energies and different parts of you and why you may do what you do. Because to truly understand stuff is once you understand those things, then you will really understand and start to focus on those and start to master and connect with those different elements physically on this planet while you can. If you truly understand. And the understandings come from your inner core. That's why we don't stand under. And some of y'all wonder. But I'm grateful that it didn't start to rain and thunder, because it did sprinkle a little bit. And I didn't want to get wet. Not to say rain is a threat, but that's you connecting with the rain. So when you actually lay down on the grass and you meditate while laying, that's a great time to either sit up on the, lay down on the grass, or lay down period when meditating. Just lay down in the grass in nature when it's about to rain. Maybe wearing a swimsuit, whatever the case may be, and let the rain hit you. Now ain't gonna be no moment, ain't no way gonna be able to light fire unless you had got a lantern or something. I don't know, some type of sign where the fire could be held while the water's going. Ooh, that's something right there. But yeah, that's a great way of connecting with the water. So make sure everybody's eating right, putting the right stuff into your eyes, your vision. You know, TV ain't really great. It'll have things, for example, before I end all of this, is that TV will have a cool movie, right? And this movie could be funny and harmless and just seem like something that'll uplift you, which I used to watch a lot of comedy. Now this movie is designed by the same people that know how to play with color spectrums and things, even color behind that you can't see in the movie. It's like something else that your eyes truly see. Your two eyes may see the movie, but the subconscious or certain things can actually see like certain type of colors that's being hidden inside the screen that is picking up that you're not picking up with your two eyes. So that alone, and go look it up if you don't think this makes sense. So you can look at that and actually know it'll be certain things, or even little things that happen, and little things that's being said that could be a spell said in a certain order. And those things actually play some type of, manipulation or whatever game on your mind. And now you act a certain way or react a certain way or be a certain way because you was watching this, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing that was doing something to your thinking in your psyche and things like that. And I'm saying it, I don't care if you don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'm just as sharp as a spike bee. And I'm saying those that don't like me because I'm saying the stuff that I'm saying and I'm not really playing when it comes down to these secrets, and we know who those ones that be upset when you get on some deep-ish. So that's why I said, those, nobody personally, probably, most likely not even watching this, but the ones that know about this and they don't pass it and tell people. And they have you thinking you only got 12 signs, that exist, when really it's the 13th, which is another way of saying when you reach the soul, the divine self, you know what I'm saying? When you reach the higher self. And it's like mastering all the elements, but it's broke down into 12 more so, which is far when it comes to like zodiacs. The 4 elements, but when the 4 elements is broken down, you got 12. And another reason why you got 12, because you might have a Taurus that is, this sign, whatever their sign is, I can't remember right now, but they will have, let's say, for example, if a Taurus was, are they Earth? I don't know. Let's just say, for example, right, because I forgot all of that. I don't be really keeping up with that part, but I know what I know. And I can say, okay, for example, because I do know, I'm just not remembering right now, so I don't want to say I don't know. I just got to remind myself. Ain't no way I don't know. But let's say Scorpio and Cancer, right? I mean, let's say Scorpio and Cancer. Scorpio and, damn, what the heck? Why I can't, okay, well, I'm not getting it right now. I'm laughing over this is funny. But and that's how you got beats. So you got to have a sense of humor, not kill nobody before them thinking of what they got to say. Like, that's high vibrational. When you don't care about what they got to say and what they feel, when you know it ain't true, and that's not even their true selves, you know what I'm saying, really speaking truth, they just speaking from an ego or some type of pain or trauma, that's not even them. So when you understand that, you just understand that. But it's not you. Anything anybody say you are is actually a lie, you know what I'm saying? And they don't even know who they are by even telling you that. But if they knew they was the all, they wouldn't speak to the all like that. It would be different. It's level to this high vibrational energy, and operating in that way. And it ain't for everybody else for you to be high vibration. It's really for yourself because you want your frequency and all that to be high. You don't want to, be vibing low and all that. It's a weakness. It's a weakness when you vibe that way when it's not necessary and it's not that deep and it shouldn't go that far. But when you can vibe low, but then raise your frequency back up right away because you're aware that you're vibing low, that's a form of power. So it ain't like you ain't gonna ever vibe low. Because like I said, I be having to catch myself sometimes like, oh shit, I'm gonna fed into it. Like, all right, let me not even keep feeding into it because that's all it is. It's another challenge. That's all it is another challenge on your, your 4 elements or whatever, your 12 zodiacs for you to reach the 5th element or the 13th sign, which is you connecting all 12 signs as one and not letting one take over you or one have you thinking this way or operating that way or one saying you that way because, whatever society, whatever said you just that way. But really, you got to tap into all of them. You got all of them inside of you. You just got to tap into them and be aware of them and realize, these different traits from all different 12 zodiacs until you master them all and combine them all into one. And that's when they master. When you combine them all and you balance them all, you got them all, then that's when you actually are at your 13th, which is Oka, what's the name of it? What's the name for it? Eucalyptus? No. Ophiuchus? What? Damn. I can't get it. See? And that's the thing. I know these things, but I can't. Yeah, right now my mind is it's just running right now because I am kind of, not kinda. I am high vibrational right now. I am vibing high. Like I'm, you know. But whatever it's called. If you look it up, it'll tell you what the 13th sign is. It'll tell you what the 13th sign is and why. Okay, let me tell you. It'll tell you what the 13th sign is. Let me go over here because. It'll tell you what the 13th sign is. I'm trying to remember. Damn. I can't remember. But anyway, some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. Because I do consider myself that 13th sign. So that's why I'm surprised I don't remember. But I'm not surprised at the same time. Because these things happen. And that also raises awareness that there's certain things you shouldn't tap into maybe. Because I've blew down the blunt, and after doing that had put me in a whole nother zone. And really because I don't do that often. So being that I don't do it often, I feel extra joyful right now. And I only do it when I'm feeling great. That's why I say a lot of people do that when they feeling down, depressed, whatever. Nah, I don't do it then. And to me, I would tell all y'all to just quit or no longer smoke. And if you're gonna do it like where you can have control so much and just fun when you got control like that, like no cap. When you can do it on some like once a month. First start going down to like, only on the Saturday, Sunday, something like that, or Friday, Saturday. And then get to the point where it's like, I only do it on Saturday. I'm telling you, I done did this so many times in my existence. So many times I done stopped for 3 years, 4 years, then one again, then maybe, 7 months, then maybe one again, then maybe 3 years. So once you reach that level, it feels so amazing when you truly do have control. And you can do it when you just want to tap into a certain type of, form of thinking or being creative or just flowing. Because of this right now, it has me flowing on here and really just going in. Which is me just tapping into my lower wind. Or should I say my voice, my pipe, you know what I'm saying? My vocals. Expressing, you know what I'm saying? Or releasing, or just using my throat chakra. A chakra, like some like to say. And I'm also, out here in the wind. And those that are truly listening, this is a form of meditation. You can look that up. You can see the videos on YouTube, monks and all that different ones that understand that listening is a form of meditation. That's not some funny shit like, people that shut up hear things. Nah. No, but listening is a form of meditation. So that's why I like to listen, because I receive things. You know what I'm saying? I learn. I be reminded. That's why I have so many uploads and things like that. When I meditate, I'm quiet. You know what I'm saying? I like to not always hear sound bowls and just be there in silence and hearing my breath only. So I'm about to end this, but I want to say divine heart to everyone that was viewing and may view, because it seemed like two people popped up. Don't know who they are. I ain't got no files on this channel. It's kind of new. Well, it is new. I ain't even mean to create it. But yeah, may you all have a divine experience, reach your divine self. You know, whenever you get some type of way, make sure you remind self, because your mind's wealth, and your body and your soul and your spirit and all that. Even if you don't want to hear it, then fall back. But nah, don't fall back, because they don't even sound like nothing cool. You know what I'm saying? That's me just acting like a fool. But I don't want to get in my ego. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to represent for the people. But you got somebody over there looking through the peephole, like, oh shit, where'd he go? He went up, like he was on up, like he was up on the seesaw. Nah. Well, here we go. Back to that rhyming shit. Let's get back to talking. I'm going to end this phone because it's about to die. I'm not even going to lie. I will plug it up and I ain't even going to try. So I'm going to end it with y'all saying hi to the dragonfly. I had him with me earlier. He was living and chilling. I gave him water, watched him breathe everything. And then I watched him slowly leave everything. I don't know why it looked like, it seemed like he was just flying just now. That was crazy. Like the wings just flapping. And I'm not even just yapping or capping. Y'all just had to see what just happened. And I ain't even laughing. But anyway, let's get back to action. I'm going to say divine heart once again, divine devotion, divine energy, divine, yeah, divine heart to everybody. Have a great one. And if you see this goddess divine heart to you, divine devotion, freaking love your ass like I love the air, fire, water, and moving in motion. And that's not even a potion. Straight to earth. Would have been great to give birth. Would have been great to give birth. I know your worth.